But today I wanted to come into the talk to you as Vikram Deal. And what I wanted to talk to you today was why your sales suck. I'm going to give a couple of minutes to let some people pop in here. So I'm going to have, I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm drinking and why I'm drinking it. This is a little green juice. And so I'm drinking this to help keep my body alkaline, because if you are eating certain foods, and you do need to have some greens in there. So if you are eating carbs, you definitely need some greens to help alkaline the body. But today I want to talk to you about something about sales. And I'll tell you why your sales suck. No joke. This is why your sales suck. It's because you start out the conversation with, let me tell you a story about me. I did this and I did that, and I'm so great, and I have these sales and I have these stats, and I sold so much this last month, and I did this 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 and I did this, and I don't give a fuck about any of that. What I care about is, what are you going to do for me? What can you do for me? Most salespeople, I love them. They're trying their best, but they go in and they say, I do this for my clients, and I do that for my clients, and I do this, and I sell, and I am so freaking great. Oh my God, did I tell you about my new car that I bought because I make so much money? And did I tell you about the new vacation I took because I make so much money? And did I tell you about I? Then, oh God, this is where it gets good. Then people want to talk about this, which I love, and I never understood it. And I'm part of this company. And this company is amazing. And it's this company, this company, this company, this company, this company. And you've lost me, who's your prospect. So by the time I would be ready to say something, I'm like checked out, right? I'm checked out. And I've been there. I've had the long presentations, right? Now, if you want to talk about you, how do you bring it back to your client, right? It's always got to have a reach around. So if you want to talk about your stats, hey, I did this year, and why that matters is because I have the team, I have the tools, I have the network, I have the abilities, I have the this that's going to help you with your goal there. Most people start talking about themselves before they even ask the right question. One of the greatest questions that you can ask when you sit down with a new prospect is, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me about your pain and your frustrations. Tell me what's important to you in this transaction. Tell me why this is going to help and change your life. Tell me what I can do, right? What can I do? So if you pre-qualify your client, you already should have this information. If you're pre-qualifying your clients, you already know their pain points. You already know what they're trying to solve. You already know that your services can fit their needs. And if they can't fit their needs, and you know that you can refer them to somebody who can help them. So a lot of people go into sales and they want to talk about themselves. That's ego, right? If I tell you that I sold X amount of something, right? I sold so many widgets. Great. What does that mean to you? How is this product going to help you? How is this service going to help you? Nobody gives a snot about you. They only care about you once they know that you care about them, right? So people are always like, Vic, how did you sell so much of this? And how did you sell so much of that? I'm like, I just went in and talked to people. I asked them what their pain points were. Oh, okay. You know, like this spoon right here, this spoon is going to solve your problem, because when you're eating this food out of this bowl, you don't have to use your hands like we did in India. Hello, thank you, everybody. This spoon is going to allow you to give medicine to your sick child. This spoon can be a measuring tool. This spoon can stir up your drinks and beverages, right? The great thing about this spoon is that it's dishwasher safe. Isn't that awesome? And it's going to last for years and years and years with your destructive little boys that you love to death. Isn't that great? Oh my God. And what's even better is that this spoon is actually a spoon that's not made in China. And so it's actually made in the US. So you're supporting your own brother and sister, right? So you don't have to talk about a lot of crazy, like, I don't need to tell them how the spoon was made. I don't need to talk about myself. Oh my God, I'm so great. I sold 10,000 spoons last month. Like, I got an award for selling so many spoons. Oh my God, like, I'm so cool. I am so awesome. Like, let me tell you about my kid, and then let me tell you about my bikes, and then let me tell you about this one time that I went to this one thing, and then let me tell you about band camp, and let me tell you about this, and let me tell you about that, and oh my God, I'm going to tell you about this too. Drop some comments if this makes sense, people. Drop some comments, because we've all heard the salesperson. We've all heard the salesperson that only talks about themselves. Right? You've heard the salesperson that just talks about themselves. And you're like, wait, am I buying something from you, or are you, like, what's happening here? Who's buying something? So get the pain point of your client and be authentic, be integrous. If you can't help somebody, refer them to somebody who can. Like, I had somebody reach out to me. They're like, hey, we want to be part of a women's coaching group. I was like, boom, I got the gal for you. Bam, sent her over to my friend. What am I going to do? Like, yeah, I have a lot of women clients. I've dealt with lots of women my whole life, but I don't have what they need. I don't have the parts of a female, and I don't know how it works these days, but I also don't, consider myself a female, and she doesn't either. And so she wanted to be in a group. So I referred her out. That's part of being integrity. Right? That's part of about in being integrity. And then I know that if I'm in integrity with people, then when they're ready for my services, they're going to come back, or they're going to send somebody that could use my product and services. So the reason why most people don't make enough sales isn't because they don't have a great product. I don't see very many shitty products anymore, right? You can't, with Amazon and reviews, and you get weeded out quick. Most people have a great service. Again, with all the review systems out there, you can weed that out pretty quick. What most people don't have is a system to sell. They don't have a process. They don't understand the psychology of selling. They don't understand how people's minds work. They don't understand the basics of selling. And so when they're trying to sell, they're not understanding how to do it. And so they're just going off of how they feel. Today I feel bad, so I'm going to tell my client I feel horrible, right? My uncle, you can't ever get him to say he doesn't feel wonderful. How do you feel today, uncle? I feel wonderful today. Talk to him a couple hours later. I feel wonderful today. He could be coming back from a funeral. I feel wonderful today. I'm like, but aren't you sad? He's like, I can be sad, but I'm still wonderful. My life is still wonderful. I have all these wonderful things. Yes, I'm sad that some things happen, but I can still be wonderful in a sad mode. And he bounces out of these things super quick. So if you want to improve your sales, right? I love selling, right? Because it's one, I know I deliver amazing products and services. Two, I know that I care about my customers. I know that I care about them for life. I don't want them to just see me as a one and done, right? I'm not a one night stand salesperson. I'm not selling you a piece of shit, right? Three, I will service you, right? I will service you on the backside. That sounded a little bad. I will give you the service you need to continue. I will give you the service you need so that you can continue to have the product or service that I sold you originally work the way you want. Like, I sold knives when I was 17 years old. I can still tell you so much about the product. I can tell my aunt called. She's like, how do I send in the knives to the company? I'm like, call this number, 800-828-0448. She's like, how did you remember that? I'm like, I sent thousands of people there for service. Of course. Why would I remember that? I mean, I don't remember my social security number some days, but I remember that number because I used it all the time. So when you have a great product and you have a great service and you care about your people, the thing you're missing is the process. You're missing the scripts. You're missing how to use the scripts. You're missing the delivery of the product. You don't know when to shut up and when to talk, right? A lot of when I was a new salesperson, I've done it many a times. I've done it probably last week. You talk yourself out of the sale. Don't lie. I see people on here watching right now because this is hitting home. I see you watching. So drop a comment and tell me, when did you talk yourself out of a sale? Don't BS me. I know you've talked yourself out of the sale. When was the last time you talked yourself out of a sale? The client's like on the hook. It's like the fish is there. You're reeling them in. You're reeling them in. You're like, oh, that's gonna be a good fish. Oh, oh. And then your buddy's like, all right, you gotta chill for a second. You gotta let the fish like do whatever the fish do. And you're like, no, I got, I'm gonna pull. You pull so hard and the fish flies off, and you're like, oh, I got nothing now. I got some seaweed. Tell me a time where you talked a client off the hook. We've all done it. If you've been in sales, you've done it. It's impossible not to have done it at least once. But did you know that that's why they didn't buy? Is because you over talked. They were ready for the sale. And instead of you saying, hey, would you like to go ahead and purchase that today? Would you like to go ahead and sign up for this membership today? Would you like to go ahead and sign up for this course today? Hey, would you like to go ahead and take this car home with you today? Hey, did you want to go ahead and buy this house? Let's go write up an offer. You talked more about the freaking Christmas tree. You're like, oh, the Christmas tree would be over there. And they're like, lost the momentum. So don't be scared to ask people for money. Here's an exercise. All right. Here's an exercise I want you to do. I know most of you ain't going to do it, so it's fine. But the few brave souls out there, this is an exercise to practice asking people for money. Next time you go buy something from anywhere, grocery store, yeah, Richard, you got to close a deal, dude. People are scared to close. That's the whole point of doing a 2-hour presentation or a 20-minute presentation is you got to close. So here's what I want you guys to do. Here's a tip. I want you guys to go to your next time you go out and buy something, I want you to ask for a 50% discount. 50%, 50. Okay. 50%. Okay, my friend, I want you to ask for 50% off. And they're going to say no. And they might laugh, and that's cool. Let them say no. Let them laugh. Let them look at you like a deer in the headlights, because most people don't know how to negotiate. You might get 5% off. You might get 10% off. You might get 0. But if you ask 10 people for a discount, you will save 5 to 10% in your life. And guess what? It doesn't hurt them typically, right? It doesn't hurt them. So just be real and ask. And guess what? When you actually have to ask for your business, right? You're going to be able to sell better. So I'm asking you guys, if you want some help with sales, drop me a comment, send me a DM, slide into my DMs, right? Let's work on your sales process, because there's no reason why you shouldn't make more money in 2021 than you did in 2019. 2020 was an off year for some people, so we're not going to use that as the baseline, but there's no reason why you shouldn't make more money in 2021 than you did in 2019. So if you want some help with your sales process, now I'll talk about me. Drop me a line, because I've sold over $300 million worth of stuff. I sold knives. I've sold cell phone. I sold like 10 cars. That sucked. I sold real estate, wellness products, supplements, right? So if you want to up your game, sorry, my messages are going crazy. My VA is sending me all sorts of notes. If you want to up your game right now, drop me a DM, because I can sell different products, different industries. It doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. Have a beautiful day. You're blessed, and let's go make some money.